Sarah and I have left behind the cold and wet winter of California for a little trip to Mexico. We are technically in the tropics right now, but we're in the outskirts of Mexico City where the elevation is 8,500 feet. So it's actually pretty nice in the sun and very cold in the shade.
And very easy to get out of breath walking upstairs or any exertion.
This is my first international traveling since the pandemic, and this was probably the worst traveling experience I've ever had. I've done so much traveling, but it was quite an ordeal. So we started out at SFO, direct flight to Mexico City. It was delayed 2 hours. We were originally going to land at 8:30 p.m. in Mexico City. We got in there at 10:30 p.m. and of course, with customs and immigration and the baggage claim, we got through it all, but it was like 90 minutes. So we didn't get out of the airport until midnight this morning, basically. Our new friend Andres was waiting for us at the airport. He had a nice pickup truck we could throw all the bags in. So many bags. It's quite an ordeal to push them all through the airport, and even more so later on through city streets. Andres took us to a nice little taco joint that was open late night. The traffic was still pretty bad after midnight in Mexico City. It is known for having really bad traffic. Getting started with some authentic Mexican tacos was really good. I really liked the beefsteak with the chicharrones on top. I'd never had that before, and it was like a perfect blend of the salty and the savory. Sarah had a quesadilla with some mushrooms in it. It was a good way. I was starving, even though the flight had a meal, which is very rare now, but no good on the airplane food. We also stopped at the old 7-Eleven to get some bottled water. I had to go big, which of course I would later come to regret as we lugged all the luggage around and a 30-pound jug of water. We get to the Airbnb at 2 a.m. It is one of those like commercially run apartment buildings. I would like to call it like a puppy mill, where it's not like an Airbnb that's in grandma's basement and she meets you at the door and lets you in. We've done a lot of Airbnbs, never had a problem. Well, 2 a.m., we show up to the Airbnb, we've got the code to put into the door. And even before this place is like a fortress. It's got all the security guards and the gates, and you have to say, okay, I'm staying at this place. And they're nice and they let us in, but there's like all these different towers and stuff. We get to the door, 2 a.m., code doesn't work, trying it over and over and over, just, oh, what are we doing wrong? Send a message to the Airbnb host, text the Airbnb host, call the Airbnb host. There's actually 2 different numbers we tried, nothing. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect? So I had to make the executive decision to just get out of there, take an Uber, go find a hotel. Sarah was more in the camp of like going down to the front desk and trying to talk to these people and see if they had the code, but it's all just like late night security guards. We don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English. It just wasn't meant to be. And I just didn't think that they would have a, hey, 203F, do you have the code to that personal apartment that's someone's apartment? It's not really like a hotel. Like my grandfather told me when I was 12 years old, you gotta learn the Spanish. I'm sorry, Pops, I should have learned the Spanish. So let's call the Uber to the fortress and get our stuff loaded up. And the first Uber comes. I selected the Uber Black SUV. I thought it would be big enough. It was not big enough. We're trying to put the bags in the back of the SUV, and it's just like, oh. And the guy was super nice. Everyone we've met in Mexico has been super nice. And he's like, maybe we could do 2 trips back and forth. And, you know, because it's at this point 2:30 in the morning, I think, and you're calling an Uber, and it is Mexico City, so there's enough people around. But
if we back up a little bit, though, too, to get from the fortress to go from point A to point B.
From the tower, from our room.
Yeah, it's a massive complex, and no one could really tell us clearly where to go. And so we have the massive bike bags, and then we have staircases, and we come across a staircase, and Brian decides that it's a good idea to take the big old water jug and roll it down the stairs instead of carrying it. Thankfully, he did not do that for the bike bags, but we suffered some consequences of that fateful decision a little bit later on the trip. But just traveling with the bike bags makes everything 10 times more frustrating because it's just...
A 10-minute walk is horrific walk, as we
And
found out later.
Yeah, and stairs whenever there's stairs. And the things are just heavy and awkward to lug around.
I'll tell you what's not heavy to carry around, these AG1 travel packs by Athletic Greens, the fine sponsor of today's video. AG1 is the foundation of daily health, comprehensive nutrition, and gut health support in one simple scoop, even when you're out traveling. I have been drinking AG1 since May, and I love getting my fair share of 75 different vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and adaptogens, all trusted by the world's best endurance athletes. What would it take? Like 15 different pills in the morning to get the same amount of goodness that's in one scoop of AG1? I can't do the pill thing. AG1 is so easy. You mix it up. I put some ice in there just to mix it up some more, give it a nice cool taste. It tastes good in the morning, every morning. The new routine that I've been working on is when I get up in the morning, I don't look at the phone. I go straight to the kitchen and I mix up my AG1 and I start drinking. It starts my day with a really nice win, and it puts me in a healthy mindset to make better choices throughout the day, to get a workout in, just to get going right. I am not perfect with it. I probably never will be. You don't have to be perfect either. But if you make the right intentional choices, it changes your life and you can put yourself on the healthy track. Head on over to athleticgreens.com/BKXC and pick up a couple travel packs. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring these videos that keep me riding the best trails in the world. So we canceled that Uber, called a second Uber. It was a Ford Expedition. It still was tough to fit because we fit all of our stuff in Sarah's RAV4, but we had 2 passengers up front. When you have the driver and 2 passengers, then everything's all wonky. So we got everything in and we were off to a random hotel that I had looked at Google Maps that was only about 3 minutes away by car. But the thing is, it's 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. You can't book a night at a hotel from an app for last night because they've already moved on to tonight, which is this night.
And there was a big festival going on. There were fireworks really loud till 2:30, 3 a.m. and people milling about. So I think that also contributed to what you're about to say next.
Yeah, so we got to the hotel, we got all of our stuff out. The water bottle dropped out and exploded when he popped the trunk to get all of our stuff out. And we go up to the 30th floor or whatever it is with our suitcases. Do you have any rooms? No, we're all sold out. Yes, obviously. Thank you. But at least it was a nice place we could sit down. We called a couple different places. We found this place, the Paragon, that had a room available, and then we walked. So it's 3:30 in the morning on the mean streets of Mexico City with all of our luggage in tow, just trying to survive. And, Google Maps says it's a 12-minute walk. We're not going to call another Uber because, we're going to load up and not be available and all that stuff. So we're going to walk it. And, Google Maps says mostly flat. And then it's like downhill, uphill, back and forth.
Potholes.
Yeah, bache, pothole. And there's, just all kinds of weird stuff. And it's funny, I think the people we saw on the street were more afraid of us than we were afraid of them. So it's a really nice area. It's like the Santa Fe area of Mexico City. And we made it to Paragon. We got our luggage in. We actually had a really nice room. This is an amazing view of Mexico City, in bed at like 4 a.m. And we could close the shutters enough to actually sleep decently. Asleep by 4:30, and I had a shower. Oh man, after all that travel, hallelujah, Dios mío. And then to top it all off, maybe around 8 a.m., and it's Sunday morning right now, I started hearing maybe a kid's TV show in the next room, and it's just so loud and obnoxious, and it's like, kids are watching TV. And I think I was able to doze off a couple times. And then Sarah and I both kind of woke up, and she's like, I think it's a parade outside. It must be outside. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So we lift the shutters, look down at the street, and there's nothing in the street. And it's just like, where is this coming from? And then I was able to push my face right up against the glass of the window and look to the left. And it's this massive jazzercise ladies group that's just out there working out in the morning. And they're doing all kinds of music and stuff.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Cuatro, tres, dos, uno. All this to say, It was a soul dinger of a trip, and I've got my brand new merch that I just restarted. Soul Dinger t-shirt. I got the Soul Dinger sweatshirt. I got some BKXC logo t-shirts. I got long sleeve stuff. Finally rebooting my BKXC merch with Cognitive MTB. They've been very good with Single Track Sampler and Seth from Berm Peak. Seth's Bike Hacks. You know what I mean. I'm falling asleep. So today was a new day, even though it's the same day as all the travel struggles. This morning, Sarah found a really cool coffee shop called Pave on Google Maps. So we walked down there and it was very, very cool, very cycling oriented. We saw a big group ride of gravel grinders there having their coffees. We just went there for coffee, but we ended up getting a little breakfast, lunch, brunch. Sarah got a really nice French toast. I got a buffalo sandwich, a little like buffalo chicken wing kind of hot sauce, and it was pretty dang good. And of course, she got the latte, the café con leche. The cafe is attached to a bike shop that does all consignment bikes. So people put up their bikes to sell in the bike shop, and there's a huge selection, really cool mountain bikes. I saw Ibis Ripley in there, all kinds of road bikes. It's called Velomanata. We got to talk to the owner of the cafe, Mauricio, and he was so nice. He spoke English. He helped us get through the ordering and everything, even though I think we would have been able to make it happen. And just a good dude, good meal. Very cool to hear different people's stories. They also had some pastries on the menu, and Sarah wanted a Queen Amman, but they were out of them. But Mauricio just happened to call in and get more. I don't know if he did it just for us or if... who knows if he was already had an order in to come in. So we were kind of sitting there for a while and boom, one showed up. Jesus, the barista, put it in the toaster, warmed it up, and Sarah really, really liked it.
It was muy deliciosa.
Then we headed down to Parque La Mexicana, and we didn't know that there was a big winter market going on, and it was really quite cool. It was neat to see different stuff, and eventually it's like IKEA and it's totally overwhelming, but it was neat to kind of see that, oh, all these people are out and about, and it was definitely seemed like it was a big deal. Lots of good people watching, lots of dogs, lots of just action going on. We were supposed to ride Desierto de los Leones today. Supposed to be a really, really good trail system here in Mexico City. There was no way. After getting in bed at 4:30 and then still having to build up the bikes and all that stuff, how were we even going to build up the bikes and staying in that other place? I don't know what we were thinking. Well, actually, we have another friend, Jaime, who has a house nearby of the other place we were staying, and he actually dislocated his elbow yesterday in like a motorcycle race thing. So it was like some other things were stirring in the background before everything else fell apart. So we're leaving the bike bags alone. We're not building up the bikes, because this was just kind of like our getting settled day. We're gonna go to Valle de Bravo to actually spend more days, 6 days, maybe 5 rides or something like that. And possibly we get back here on Saturday, do the Desert of the Lions, hopefully, but I'm not pushing. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We can always come back. And of course, we got charged $150 each for our baggage for taking the bikes. Oh, it's such a trap. Me and Sarah did everything we could to get the bikes under 50 pounds. That's what I thought was the marker. Oh, as long as the bag is under 50 pounds, it's regular luggage. We booked it through Delta, but it's an Aeromexico flight. They make the rules. $600 more to spend on this trip than I thought we were gonna spend. I was gonna guess there would be $50 each way for each of them as like our second checked bag. We wrapped up our day in Mexico City with a trip to the mall. All kinds of good stuff in there.
Not just any mall. Massive mall.
Probably the biggest mall I've ever been to or ever seen or ever heard of. And then we found a Mediterranean place in Mexico and had some good falafel and kebab, kind of, sort of. What was yours called?
Tabbouleh, which actually was what I expected, versus kebabs is different. You never quite know exactly what you're ordering based on how they describe things on the menu.
Then we got some more water, and I've been wondering where all the Pepsi was. Haven't seen a single Pepsi the whole time. And then we saw it, and it was actually, it came with a gift with purchase. So that's about it for this adventure, and we're gonna get going to the riding very soon. We just have to cross the impossible street first.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go, go. Oh, no, no, not yet.
Sorry.
And now we have made our way out of smoggy Mexico City to Valle de Bravo out here in the country. We're in this really cool Ewok village type setup where all of these hotel rooms are their own little cabins kind of. They're not really tiny homes, but it kind of has that feel and it's really cool. We got this really cool patio, this amazing view from our bed. There's even a loft. If Sarah gets mad at me, I can sleep up there.
Can't stand you anymore. Let me show you how cool the bathroom is. It's like one of those wellness spas. This way to wellness.
Whoa.
Clawfoot tub.
Yeah.
So we can take a bath. Actually, one person at a time. And this nice shower.
Wow.
We have to close the window so we don't get too cold though.
The weather is perfect right now. No bugs, no nothing in December. 75 degrees and sunny every day is what the forecast is. So, perfecto. Time to unpack. So now it is time to go for a ride. We are at Monte Alto. We're gonna climb up this hill and come down. A nice little ride today to get everything situated. Our guide for this trip, who invited us out to come to Mexico, to come to Valle de Bravo, was Sandro. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Valle de Bravo. It's so nice to have you guys here. And yeah, we're gonna do a short little nice ride, go up all the way to the hill to a mountaintop overview of the lake, and just to get the blood flowing after the trip.
Good stuff, let's do it. We're right around 7,000 feet maybe right now, so not as crazy as the 10,000 foot we were gonna start at if we had ridden Desierto de los Leones, but oh yeah, we're still puffing.
I'm always glad after putting my bike together that it all works right. Yeah. I'm always so amazed. And the shifting.
Yeah. Our buddy Andres that picked us up at the airport said that this time of year is really good because November has a lot of rain and now everything is still moist in the dirt and good to go.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Pretty soon you're gonna be able to say you crashed in America, you've crashed in Canada, and you can crash in Mexico.
No crashes in Mexico.
All North America.
Good luck, Charmin, Mexico.
No crashes. That's the closest you're gonna get. Sandro said a big wildfire came through here in the spring and it's already growing back.
Wow.
We're on the panoramica.
Oh, nice.
Panoramica. Tongue-tied.
That's gorgeous. Totally reminds me of riding in Tahoe.
Yeah.
Water, mountains.
Whoa, rock. Big old rock sliding out.
I thought you were crashing.
I was.
Oh.
But I didn't finish the job. So Sandro works for a nonprofit called Procuenca that does a lot of outdoor recreation advocacy, funding, building in the Valle de Bravo area. So after this fire happened, they got a group together to dig some filtration canals to make sure that once the rains come, there wasn't just giant mudslides and this whole hill eroded. So they dug all these filtration canals, and it has worked really, really good because the water is holding, and then now we see all the regrowth happening pretty fast, actually. A lot of Sandro's work is, you know, advocating for forests and landowners to keep their land as a forest and then allow outdoor recreation, and that could be a source of income. And then that's a great cycle to be a part of. Get tourists to come, ride, spend money, and you don't even have to turn it into a field and plow the acreage every year. Just hope for a bumper crop of mountain bikers. Hey! That was a big one.
Misjudged it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was a perfect little break.
Yeah.
So fun to watch them go off the mountain.
It was short.
Speed. Bursts.
Woo.
Yep. That got rocky and weird. Oh yeah. Oh. Ha. That was tough.
That was out of control.
Nice move.
God.
Oh yeah. The rooster went after Sarah. Yeah. This is his home.
Woo.
Yeah.
Good ride.
Yeah, that was cool.
Good welcoming to Valle.
Yes, exactly. Ah, it's so nice to finish the ride and finish all that crazy stress that we had before and come back to this nice little spot, take a shower, sit out before it gets too cold, and just soak it all in. We have got a few more really good adventures on the way from here in Mexico. Please stick around. Please do me a favor and go ride something new, and maybe I'll see you on the trail.